It is now 7 p.m. on Monday, December 7th. We'll call the meeting to order of the Mount Clemens City Commission meeting. Everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call please.
Campbell.
Here.
Fournier.
Here.
Goodnow.
Here.
Hammond.
Here.
Crop.
Here.
Menser.
Here.
Voorhees. Voorhees. He was here.
Here.
There you go.
All right. Thank you.
Very good. We'll move on to announcements, acknowledgements, communications, and reports. We have a proclamation today for Father Michael Cooney. Whereas the people of Mount Clemens, through their duly elected officials, have a long history of recognizing those individuals in their midst who give of themselves for the human and public good. And whereas Father Michael Cooney was born in Detroit on March 10, 1948, to Michael and Elizabeth Cooney, and was one of 4 children. He was ordained a priest for the Archdiocese of Detroit in 1975. And whereas, with a love for learning, he went on to earn a doctorate in ministry at St. Mary College in Baltimore, Maryland, and a doctorate in education at Wayne State. He also earned a master's degree in education from the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. And whereas, in 1990, Father Michael N. Cooney became the pastor of St. Peter's Catholic Church in downtown Mount Clemens and became an integral part of this community. During his 30 years as pastor, Father Cooney's accomplishments include paying off the parish debt and building the Father Welch Parish Hall, the new gymnasium at St. Mary's School, the beautiful church parking lots, and the Shrine to Mary to honor all of the students who have attended St. Mary's School over the past 150 years. When the new gym was built at St. Mary's, Father Cooney said, "This means an awful lot to everyone. These kids are the future of tomorrow, not only as students, but as good citizens." He further went on to say, "The families of Mount Clemens, St. Peter's Catholic Church, and St. Mary Catholic School have been and will always be intrinsically bound together." And whereas Father Cooney had a strong admiration of the work of public safety officers, and in addition to his annual masses in support and recognition of area first responders and law enforcement officers, he continued his service to the Mount Clemens community as the chairman of the Civil Service Commission for the city of Mount Clemens, where he assisted in the employment process for police officers and firefighters. He was chaplain to several police departments in Macomb County, as well as the Mount Clemens Fire Department in years past. And whereas, when he was younger, he played ice hockey with the priest team and more recently liked watching golf on TV. Father Cooney also enjoyed following the Red Wings, Tigers, and Lions. However, his favorite was watching Notre Dame football. And whereas on November 26, 2020, Father Michael Cooney passed away peacefully in his home. He was predeceased by his parents, his brother, Bishop Patrick Cooney, and sister Mary Cooney. He is survived by his sister Leonosha Cooney, OP, a retired Adrian Dominican. And whereas his passing no doubt leaves a void in our hearts and our community, may we honor his legacy by loving and supporting our neighbors and our first responders. Now, therefore, I, Laura Kropp, Mayor of the City of Mount Clemens, on behalf of the City Commission and all our citizens, are saddened by the passing of Father Michael N. Cooney, and do hereby acknowledge the significant contribution that he made to this community and extend our sincerest condolences to his friends, family, and all the lives who he touched. Dated December 2nd, 2020. Do we have any further announcements, acknowledgements, communications, or reports?
No, ma'am.
Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion for adoption of the agenda.
Mayor Kropp, I move that we adopt the agenda as printed.
Moved by Commissioner Voorhees. Do I have a support?
Support.
Support by Commissioner Hammond. Roll call, please.
Campbell,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
This is the portion of the meeting where we invite the public to participate. All that we ask is that you give us your full name, your address, and you abide by our 3-minute rule. In order to make this an orderly process via Zoom, we ask at this time that you give us your first name. We'll assemble a list of participants and call on you individually. Is there anyone from the public who would like to participate at this time?
George.
George, is there anyone else who would like to participate?
Louise,
Louise.
Ruby Lou.
Thank you, Louise. Is there anyone else who would like to participate?
It's a Mount Clemens City Commission meeting, required to allow the public to participate at least one point.
Is there anyone who would like to participate? Okay, we will start with George. Go ahead, George. Your full name and address, please.
Mayor Crop, George Kale, 180 Grand Ave. I do want to thank the city administration for responding and to the questions, the two questions I had asked at the previous city commission meeting. However, I was hoping for clarification from the city manager, where the letter indicated that the review committee for the medical marijuana permits had on December 16th of 2019 made a decision to conditionally approve 2 provisioning permits, 1 grower class C permit and a processor permit. As per the city ordinance, applications were due on April 1st of 2019, and the city had to, within 90 days, make a decision in regard to either acceptance or denial of any of the applications that came in. So to have the December 16, 2019 date far exceeds the statute of limitations, let's say, or the time constraints that were found within the city ordinance. And not to pick a dead horse dry here, but as we think about moving into recreational marijuana use or adult use marijuana use within the city of Mount Clemens, let's get the right processes or implementations with the medical piece, whether it was a city administration official or an elected official. I remember saying, let's hold off on the rec piece until we finalize the medical piece and get that done right. And I'd also like then just, Don, if you could, Mr. City Manager, on section 20.113, under sections 3, definitions, interpretations, and conflicts, the city ordinance for permit application, the definition is, it refers to requirements and procedures set forth in sections 22-96 and 22-97. Could you perhaps check with the city attorney for clarification? I cannot find a section 22-96 nor a section 22-97 for further elaboration on the permit application. We need to button down the hatch, get ready to, as we know, have a lot of individuals show forth in regard to the city opting into the REC Act. But let's finish up on the medical piece, help out Mr. Gibraltar as much as we can. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, moving on to our next person, Louise.
Hi, everyone. This is very, very simple. It's nothing like the marijuana.
Could you give us
problem.
sorry, Louise, could you give us your full name and your
Oh,
address?
I'm sorry. It's Louise Cole, 1019 Harrington Street, Mount Clemens, Michigan. 48043.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. We just had a meeting, and Pastor wants to know who I'm supposed to go to contact about upcoming events in Mount Clemens. We have a lot of committees and different things that are going on, but I don't know who to actually contact to within the city for the events. Not everything can be found out on Facebook, and most of the time it's like after the fact when we have a meeting, I need something up front. So Is there anyone that I can call?
We can get you that information, Louise.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Laura.
Is there anyone else who would like to participate in public participation? Hearing none, we will go ahead and move on to agenda item number 7, administrative responses to issues or questions raised during the previous meeting. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. At the November 16th meeting, Mr. Kale asked a couple of questions regarding medical marijuana. And as he pointed out, we actually acted on that at December 16th, 2019. The Medical Marijuana Facilities Application Review Committee conditionally approved 2 provisioning permits, 1 grower Class C permit, and a processor permit. To date, no permits have been issued and no renewals applied for. However, we do anticipate that renewals will be requested. Extension requests will be requested. The ordinance does call for the city manager or his or her designee to serve on the committee, and I've chosen to have Jeff Wood continue to serve as the city manager's designee. He's currently the chair of the committee.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 8, approval of minutes. I would entertain a motion for the approval.
Motion to approve the minutes of City Commission regular meeting for November 16th, 2020.
Thank you, Commissioner Hammond. Do I have a second?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Fournier. Roll call, please. Any
Fournier?
questions? Sorry, I'm sorry. Any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none. Go ahead, Kathy.
Fournier,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yep.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Moving on to agenda item number 9, general business. First public hearing for the downtown maintenance program. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am. We have scheduled for tonight the first public hearing on the downtown maintenance program. We don't use this language in our ordinance, but this is commonly referred to as the hearing of necessity by a lot of other cities, whereas the second hearing is the hearing on the roll. There are a number of actions that need to occur. The first one is to open the public hearing. Then after the public has commented, a motion to close the hearing, and then followed by that, a motion to actually adopt the recommended rates. Instruct the assessor to prepare the special assessment roll and set the date for the second public hearing, which we're recommending be on December 21st, 2020.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for to open the public hearing.
Mayor Crop, I move that we open the first public hearing for the downtown maintenance program.
Moved by Commissioner Voorhees. Do I have a second?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Fournier. Roll call, please.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Okay, so now that we are open for public hearing, is there anyone at this point who has comments or questions about the assessment? So the public is allowed to comment on this, and it is, but when you're commenting, please restrict your comments to the issue at hand, which is the downtown maintenance program. Mr. Johnson, do you want to give us some background on this?
This is basically paying for maintenance of the downtown sidewalks and the Cherry Street Mall area. It's something that we have been doing for well over 30 years. And it doesn't really generate very much money. It brings in a total of about $57,706 according to the assessor.
Mr. Johnson, when's the last time we put this contract out for bid? I've heard from a few of our downtown businesses that they're not sure that the level of service, really, they're not very happy with some of the level of service. So I just wondered, when was the last time we put this out for bid?
I do not know the answer to that question off the top of my head, but I can get it for you before the next meeting.
My other question is, we will vote on adopting the recommended rates, but can we do that? I mean, I guess if we haven't gone out for bid, is that something that we can do tonight in order to?
They're two completely unrelated things.
Okay. Well, but you're setting the rates tonight, correct? Or no, we're doing that?
Yeah, we're setting the rates tonight, yes. We're going to need to proceed with that.
How are we setting the rates though if we, don't know if we went out to bid?
We just adjust the amount of work actually done.
Okay.
So this is Commissioner Fournier, do we use outside contractors to do the work? Is that what you're referring to, Mayor Crop?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, we do.
We
Okay.
do both. We actually use some force account as well.
So those rates, have they been sent out to bid, or right now we're just talking about what we're going to charge the businesses themselves?
We're talking about doing the project. The actual assessment hearing is the second public hearing.
Okay. So we are approving.
You're approving the rates, not the
program?
actual assessments. You're instructing the assessor to prepare an assessment roll, and you're setting the date for the second public hearing.
Got it. All right, thank you.
So the number that's,
Could you-
the number, go ahead, Ms. Commissioner Menzer, go ahead.
Could you outline the contractual services?
Basically, this is just covering the maintenance of sidewalks and other features. There was a fair amount of electrical work in it last year related to the downtown sidewalk areas and the Cherry Street Mall area.
So does that include picking up trash? Does it include doing, sweeping them once in a while? Does it include snow? What exactly is involved in $34,000 worth of contractual services, because electrical supplies are up under road maintenance? According to the document you gave us, road maintenance / electrical supplies, $7,500. Contractual services, $34,000.
Yes. Mr. Wood, can you answer that question for us?
Yeah, so the majority of that expense is the street and sidewalk sweeping that is done by a contractor. That was bid out some probably 7 years ago. The only bid that was received at that time was the contractor that has had this account for many years, and essentially gave himself a considerable raise, which then would have affected that assessment. In an effort to not raise that assessment at that time, the city worked with that contractor, and we had them do less sweeping. So they were only there a couple days a week instead of 5 to 6 days a week. Then the businesses that were paying that assessment did not like that scenario either. the contractor agreed to go back to the original schedule and the original price that I believe is still in effect from the 80s when this whole thing came into effect, and has continued that same process at that same rate. So if you're going to approve the rates and then do a bid process, I would anticipate a very substantial increase and probably would not approve rates for that special assessment today if you're looking to do an increase. That's where the contractual services portion of that special assessment goes to. The other portion of it is the snow removal portion, which is done by the Department of Public Services, and that's where we do the snow removal and salting for the sidewalks.
Thank you for that background info, Mr. Wood. It makes the picture a little clearer, so I appreciate that. Does anyone have any other questions at this time?
Yes, I just want to be clear. So we're approving rates today. But then the work, but I'm trying to piece together what you were saying, Mayor Crop, with
What we're saying today is we know that these are the costs of this maintenance program. So this is the cost of the program. So if we approve this cost of the program, then our assessor will go back and look at what the rates need to be in order to cover this cost for each business. Am I correct, Mr. Johnson?
Well, he's already recommended a rate. What he will do, in fact, he's already done it, is apply the rate to each parcel within the district, and we'll present you with an actual roll at the next meeting. Now, in fact, we already presented you with the actual roll at the previous meeting because it was asked for.
Okay. So today is the actual cost of the program. Next time is how much each business under this program would owe.
Correct.
Okay.
So the actual cost of the program is based on the same contractor doing this work, contractors or contractor doing this work at what they have been for the last decades or so.
Yes.
30 years.
Okay.
Okay, does anyone have any further questions? Hearing none, we will roll call, please.
I need a motion to close the public hearing,
Oh,
please.
I'm sorry, geez. I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Mayor Crop, I move that we close the first public hearing on the downtown maintenance program.
Thank you, Commissioner Voorhees. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Voorhees, seconded by Commissioner Hammond. I'm sorry, Commissioner Fournier. Roll call, please.
Hammond,
yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser, Menser, Menser. Is she, okay.
She's on the
Ford?
call. She's not showing audio or video present.
Okay. Voorhees,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Goodnow.
Yes.
Okay, we'll try again. Menser, are you on?
Okay.
Sorry, this is Commissioner Mentor. I got disconnected.
There she goes.
I
We're voting on closing the public hearing, Denise. You're up.
So I say yes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we need a motion to adopt the recommended rates.
I move to adopt the recommended rates, instruct the assessor to prepare the special assessment roll, and set the date for the second public hearing on December 21st, 2020.
Thank you, Commissioner
Support.
Fournier. And supported by
Support.
Commissioner Hammond. What's that?
Mentor.
Mentor.
Spencer, thank you. Anybody have any questions, comments on this one? Okay, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Agenda item 9B, approve the 2020 sidewalk assessments. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the 2020 sidewalk assessment for District 3 as presented.
Moved by
Support.
Commissioner Hammond, supported by Commissioner Fournier. Does anybody, go ahead, Mr. Johnson, would you like to present that for us?
Thank you. The 2020 sidewalk program, which addressed sidewalk problems in sidewalk district number 3, has been completed, and the assessment billing register is attached. In accordance with the charter, 10.199-section 153, the assessments are to be made pursuant to a resolution of the City Commission. Also, in accordance with that section, property owners to be assessed were notified by first-class mail that the commission would act on these assessments on December 7th, 2020. We actually did that as a part of the billing notice. We have previously suggested allowing larger sidewalk bills to be paid back over time. I had originally suggested 2 payments, the first being due now and the second in 1 year for amounts over 500 and 3 payments for amounts over 1,000. However, the Treasurer's Office has allowed monthly payments in the past and would prefer to continue doing so. For that reason, the second resolution below, which authorizes such payments, is stated in terms of months. There are 2 recommended motions which should be adopted separately.
Thank you. Does anyone have any question about the assessment piece of the motion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes. Thank you. Okay, and now we need a motion for the payment program.
I move to authorize the Treasurer's Office to make arrangements with property owners for monthly payment of sidewalk assessments. Amount less than 500 should generally be paid
It's 7:30.
prior to June 1st, 2021. Amount over 500 but less than 1,000 should be paid off prior to December 31st, 2021. And the amount over 1,000 should be paid off prior to December 31st, 2022.
Thank you, Commissioner Hammond. Do I have a support?
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Hammond, second by Commissioner Campbell. Do we have any questions or comments on this?
Yes, I have some.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Mensa.
So I have a problem with this payment schedule. Amounts less than 500 should be paid, off prior, and the wording after that. On Thursday in the Macomb Daily, the tax foreclosure list came out. District 3 is heavily represented in tax foreclosures. There are quite a few of our residents from District 3 in that, in that list. I think the City Manager Johnson talks about in his report tonight about the skyrocketing COVID cases. And in addition, in the Macomb Daily over the weekend, the Sunday paper had a front headline of food banks and the food insecurity. And it specifically says for the Macomb Food Program, last year, the food program served 19,341 people. This year, through October, it has served 69,341. I think that we should allow the residents to set up monthly payments without telling them that they have to have it paid by June 1st or by December 31st, because $500, it's $100 a month between now and then, and you're talking about people who are under foreclosure and who are food insecure. I think that language needs to be changed.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
Is there any way to go forward if someone needs a longer time to talk to the city and work it out? And have this as the general policy so we can go forward?
Yes, if the word generally be paid off was deliberately vague to give the treasurer's office some flexibility to be able to work with people.
Perfect. So if there is a situation that we need to give a little bit more time to, or some payment schedule to, we can do that.
Yes, and policy in the past, or actual, the way it's been handled in the past, is if people have been setting up a plan and keeping to the plan, that she did not move them onto the tax roll for being delinquent.
Good. Okay.
She has worked with them before.
Very good.
Commissioner Hammond and I attended a meeting with the River Acres neighborhood and for District 3, and we listened to quite a bit of people talk about the hardship of this assessment. And so I think I'm really proud that we actually now have a formal payment plan, and that, yes, it does allow some flexibility in the dates and the payoff dates. But I think it also really, shows that we are listening to the residents and trying to make it fair and equitable for everyone.
Yes, and on that note, I would like to thank administration for coming up with the assessment.
Is there anyone else who has a question or comment? Okay, roll call, please.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser.
No.
Okay, moving on. Moving on to agenda 9D, confirm appointment of fire chief. Do I have a motion?
Mayor Crop, I move that we confirm the appointment of the new fire chief, Greg Shipman.
You're skipping item 9C.
Didn't you miss item C?
Oh, I'm
Item
sorry.
C.
Oh, yep, I'm so sorry. Let's back it up here. Sorry about that. Okay, agenda 9C, approval of the 2021 sidewalk program. Could I have a motion, please?
I move to approve the sidewalk proposal for District 4 and District 5 as presented by the city engineer.
Thank you, Commissioner Hammond. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Fournier and City Manager Johnson. Do you want to explain this?
Yes, now that we've completed the 2020 program, it's time to start on the 2021 program. Commission previously directed administration to extend the sidewalk program to districts 4 and 5 in the spring. Attached is a proposal from City Engineer Kyle Seidel of AEW for completing those districts. He's estimating engineering costs of $39,500 actually billed hourly, and construction costs of $424,000 actually billed based on actual work performed. These are estimates based on prior experience with the Mount Clemens program. Inspection of sidewalks in these areas has not yet occurred, so we do not know exactly how many sidewalk flags will be replaced at this time. Our contractor, Luigi Ferdinandi and Sons Cement Company has agreed to extend its 2017 bid prices for 2021. And you'll find a letter to that effect included in Mr. Seidel's report. We plan to send notification to residents of District 4 and 5 in late December or early January. We're working on that document right now to make it a little more user-friendly and easier to understand. Sidewalk inspection and marking will occur as weather permits. They do hope to do it in the wintertime because cold weather is not a problem, but the sidewalks must be dry in order to be marked. And we have a recommended motion.
Very good. Do we have some discussion?
So who actually, this Commissioner Fournier, who actually goes out and marks the sidewalks that are to be fixed?
An employee or a contractor of AEW.
Okay, so it is not our people in, or our inspectors or?
No, it's not city staff.
Is there a reason for that?
It's just the scope of the program is really beyond what we could throw onto existing staff.
Okay.
It's pretty much always been done this way. Other places where I've worked where they've done their own marking, they've done it typically by bringing in part-time labor to do it. They didn't actually use their normal employees.
Thank you.
Commissioner Menzer, did you have a question?
Yes, I had a question. If we're going to send these notices out in, late December, early January, when are you, and then they'll be marked, when are you anticipating the construction repair to start? I'm just looking at the timeline of how much notice some of these residents will have. If they know they have to replace one flag or two flags or, 12 flags, so that they can start, a budgeting process.
Construction will start in the spring when weather's warm enough to do it. That's typically going to be probably May.
Okay.
And this is by far much earlier than what we have done in the past, correct? In terms of notifying residents.
I believe so. It's certainly much, much earlier than we did in the fall.
Thank you.
Yeah, with this particular year, that's correct. In prior years, it is not. Typically, we do fall construction of this and notify them early summer, so they have ample time not only to find a contractor if they want to do it themselves, but ample time to actually do it. Because we can notify them in December or January. They're not going to be able to pour concrete until the sidewalk program itself is starting. So which is, like I explained before, which is why we typically do a late summer or fall construction with the sidewalk program instead of a spring construction.
That's funny. I thought you just said that's the way it went the last time I asked you about that, Jeff. So the people will have enough time to, at least you can call contractors and get things ready to go. At least they have time to decide what they want to do.
Yeah, they'll have ample time.
Does anyone have any further questions? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Menzer.
I have
That I was waiting. Go ahead.
So when you're revising this letter, are you going to clarify the payment terms that we just talked about?
Yeah, we can do that in the letter too.
I think that's going to be important. One of the other statistics I didn't throw out at you guys is that the day after Christmas, millions, including quite a few in our own community, are going to be off unemployment and unemployed. So I think it'll be very important to let them know that they can create a payment plan, even if that payment plan is $20 a month. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Campbell,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yep.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Moving on now to 9D, confirm appointment of fire chief. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that we confirm City Manager Johnson's appointment of Captain Greg Shipman as the fire chief.
Thank you, Commissioner
Support.
Voorhees, supported by Commissioner Menser. And anyone have any, what? We'll give it over to Mr. Johnson first, and then we'll ask for questions. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm very pleased to ask the City Commission to confirm my appointment of Captain Greg Shipman to be Mount Clemens' first fire chief since Michael Coyle retired in May of 2000. It's been over 20 years since we've had a fire chief in Mount Clemens. Captain Shipman plans to retire on January 20th, and if confirmed by the commission, will return as chief approximately 30 days later. He will be retained as a contractual worker, not a regular employee. I'll be bringing back an actual contract when that's signed for the commission to approve. So I'm very excited to have a fire chief again, and Captain Shipman is very excited about the opportunity.
Okay, do we have any questions or comments?
I think we're going to gain a loyal, dedicated, and highly skilled fire chief. And I think that it will be really good to have a person in that kind of position of authority and give our other people a chance for promotion up into captain and promotion up into lieutenant, and show these new firefighters that we hired that there is possibility for advancement and improvement. And I think it's a great thing.
I would like to echo that. Congratulations to Captain Shipman, and I'm very, very happy that this is getting done. Thank you, City Manager Johnson, for getting it done.
I had the pleasure last year in February of attending a banquet. This was pre-COVID, obviously, that was honoring several of our firefighters. And Captain Shipman got up in front of the audience and gave an incredible speech that I later learned he was only notified about an hour before that he was going to have to give this speech. And he was just a true representation of professionalism and respect for the people, his fellow coworkers. And I just at that moment knew that he would be an incredible leader. So I'm really, really excited for this opportunity for him and for the city of Mount Clemens. I think we can be very proud that he is leading the fire department. Anyone else have any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Fournier,
Yes.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Absolutely.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to, sorry, my agenda isn't moving so quickly. Okay, 9E, approve engagement of law firm of MTT Appeals. Could I have a motion, please?
Move to approve the letter of engagement between the City of Mount Clemens and Hallahan and Associates PC.
Moved by Commissioner Fournier. Do I have a second?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Hammond. Mr. Johnson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's a very strong need in Mount Clemens to hire a property tax attorney to handle our Michigan Tax Tribunal cases. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, our Michigan Tax Tribunal appeals have increased tremendously, and there appears to be no slowdown in sight for 2021. Mr. Kratz writes that he can see a situation in 2021 where we could potentially find ourselves having to defend several major appeals. With those appeals comes a potential major loss of revenue. We are recommending Laura Hallahan and her firm Hallahan and Associates PC to be retained for this. This firm has a proven tax record for helping communities defend their tax base at the Michigan Tax Tribunal. Let me add that I've got some personal experience because she represented Royal Oak as well. And the city assessor there was extremely pleased with her work.
Okay. Questions, comments?
What makes this year different? We have not hired an attorney for the tax tribunal that I know of ever. So what makes this year different that we're going to hire and pay for an attorney?
In the past, we've had very few actual tax tribunal appeals. Most of the appeals have just been done at the local level, board of review, and those will continue to be handled by Mr. Kratz and his assistant. But when we get to the tax tribunal level, it's important that the city be very well represented by somebody that knows the ins and outs of the law and is very good at defending city assessments.
Who did this in the past?
Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
This is not a novel idea. Gary Blash retained the services of tax tribunal experts in the past. Darren called, I discussed this with Mr. Kratz some time ago. His intention, and I also checked with people I know in that area, this firm is very well regarded, and more importantly, the assessor that Mr. Kratz will retain in the event there are actual tax tribunal hearings in Lansing is very highly recommended by everybody involved in this area. It's a specialized area, but this law firm will not be handling dozens and scores of tax tribunal matters. The vast majority are handled by the assessor, the company that we contract for to do the assessing, and even some at the tax tribunal level are handled by the assessor, assuming the amounts involved aren't that huge. What he is talking about is that he foresees where there are some very highly assessed properties that he has inklings that they are going to challenge the assessment. And that is what this law firm will be utilized to assist them in.
And these are mainly commercial properties, correct?
Or industrial.
Okay.
And for years, the big one that, and one of the reasons Mr. Blash retained somebody in the past was DuPont, which I believe was the largest assessed parcel in the city. Okay. But industrial and commercial. I would be absolutely shocked if they would be handling any residential tax appeals.
Excellent, thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Did that clarify it for you, Commissioner Fournier?
I am fine with it.
Okay.
I think that's Commissioner Metzger.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Metzger.
So what you're doing is hedging your bets based, because right now you don't know how many are going to make it to the tax tribunal. So we will not be paying this law firm unless they actually, represent us in a case.
Yes, yep.
Thank you.
Or they consult with Darren. Perhaps it doesn't get to an actual tax tribunal hearing, but there are negotiations with the taxpayer and their representatives. I assume he may utilize them on an hourly basis on some major items. That most of these do get resolved at some point short of a full-blown tribunal hearing. But you're not paying them unless there's an actual case for them to be involved in.
Is there any other questions?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Hearing none, roll call, please.
Goodnow,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Agenda 9F, approve purchases and payments of invoice.
Move to approve purchases and payment of invoices as presented.
Moved by Commissioner Campbell, supported by Commissioner Fournier. Is there any questions? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Fournier,
Yes.
Hammond,
Yes.
Crop,
Yes.
Menser,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Goodnow.
Yes.
We'll move to the consent agenda, which it doesn't appear there is any business under the consent agenda. So we'll move on to agenda 11, city manager's report. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. Let's start with the shutdown in response to the skyrocketing COVID rates for both Michigan and Macomb County and several cases among city staff. City Hall was closed to the public effective November 23rd, and most employees are currently working remotely. This decision was influenced by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services 3-week emergency order, but that order did not mandate closing the building. I plan to keep City Hall closed at least through December 11th. A decision on reopening the following Monday will be made by Thursday, December 10th, and it'll be based on COVID-19 case data and state and federal guidance at that time. Vaccine. It's looking like there may be a COVID vaccine available to emergency responders, possibly as soon as the 3rd week of December. The county is already starting to work on a plan for vaccinating emergency responders. But because the vaccine has side effects, which may be serious enough to sideline a firefighter for a day or two, we will not be sending all of our firefighters to get it at once. Instead, we'll be sending 1 or 2 at a time. Such that if we do have some people off work, we'll still be able to provide services. Branding, the branding RFP was posted to the Michigan Intergovernmental Trade Network, Mitten, which is part of BidNet, website on 12/4. Proposals are due by January 6th. We hope to have a recommendation for the City Commission for approval at the February 1st meeting. That's to approve a firm, not to approve any work. Library, the library originally planned to complete their construction project with the building occupied and operating. However, they've determined that by moving to a temporary facility, they can shave about 8 months off the construction time if the library building is empty during construction. So on December 3rd, which was last Thursday, I showed Brandon Bowman and the library's architect, the Mount Clemens Community Center, the Wilson Gym, and the Carnes Center. And they're also in contact with the school district about possible use of school facilities. Telephones, telephone projects moving quicker than we anticipated. Some of the new equipment's already been delivered, and some of the changes to our internet service have already been made. The vendors involved at a Zoom meeting that occurred last Thursday suggested this project might be completed in December. And then I've got what we have currently scheduled for upcoming agendas through January. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for City Manager Johnson? Oh, wanted to give you a new role.
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Well, how is the city showing Carnes Center? That's governed by the school.
Yeah, I called the schools, they sent somebody over to open it up, and I actually walked them through it because the person who opened it up was not that familiar with the building.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Johnson. This is our second portion of the meeting where the public is allowed to participate. We ask that you abide by our 2-minute rule on this section of public participation. If you could give us your first name, we'll put you in line, and then we'll ask you to give us your full name and your residential address. Is there anyone who would like to participate at this time? Anyone who would like to participate? Hearing none, we will move on to commissioner comments. Commissioner Voorhees.
Thank you, Mayor Kropp. I would like to add my personal condolences to the Cooney family as well as the members of St. Peter's Church. Father Cooney married Monica and I, baptized and confirmed our 2 daughters, and was a true friend and a spiritual leader. I'm extremely happy that we now have a fire chief for the city. Greg Shipman is a true professional and a credit to the Mount Clemens Fire Department. And with that, once a Clemite, always a Clemite.
Thank you. Commissioner Goodenough.
Yes, I would just like to say that I hope that everyone is safe, sound, and happy, and that if anyone, any of the commissioners or anyone on the meeting tonight knows of a family or anyone in need of anything, especially our transitional families and our seniors. I work with several pastors currently, and if they are in need, please please feel free, to contact me at 586-747-7979, and we will get them whatever it is that they need, especially going into 2021, because we know that COVID is among us and it's not leaving anytime soon. So we just want to help them as best we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Menser.
Congratulations, Shipman. You're going to be great. I only met Father Cooney once, and he was very nice to me. But I work uptown Mount Clemens, and every day at noon, those church bells go off, and it's really a joy. And so, Godspeed, Father. I want to remind everybody that today is the 79th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, and I hope you gave that some thought today. I'd like to congratulate, and maybe Patrick knows the correct pronunciation, but Keith Silage from our high school. Keith won a classroom cash grant from the Macomb School, the Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union, to be used in his classroom. And as Commissioner Goodenow said, you know, I threw some statistics out for you earlier about the food insecurity in our community, about the number of foreclosures in our community, and about the number of people that are going to lose their unemployment benefits as of December 26th and have no income. So it will be important, I think, that the city keep a list and make sure that that's available of the various food pantries that are passing out things, you know, Forgotten Harvest, some of the churches, and of course the Macomb Food Pantry, and that seniors sign up for the Meals on Wheels and for the SHIP program through the Macomb Community Action Program. And you can get all that from the, you know, the county's website too. So I think we're going to be in for a rough 2021. And so I hope that everybody will step up the same way Commissioner Goodenow just offered. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Campbell.
Yes, I've had the opportunity to be out and about walking and talking to residents regarding the blight issues within the city. And based off of that, I have had conversations with the city manager and the community development director regarding certain issues that have been come up. I would like to thank them for helping take care of them. They're not completed yet, but we need to get some of these issues taken care of because they're not bringing a good image to the city. So I thank them for working on that, and I hope that we can see the completion of them. And with that, I say thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. Commissioner Hammond.
Thank you, Mayor Grant. I would like to also congratulate Captain Shipman on his appointment to Fire Chief, along with the local Wayne and Macomb Toys for Tots. We are collecting donations here in Mount Clemens for Toys for Tots, and I'm sure Mayor Kraft will explain more about that. And also the Downtown Development Authority did an event for a virtual drive-by Meet Santa, which is very creative during this time. And I just want to thank Mickey for being out there on that cold evening, passing out treats to the children and also keeping everyone safe. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Commissioner Fournier.
Thank you. I too, again, want to congratulate Captain Shipman. I am very, very happy that this finally is done. Thank you again, City Manager Johnson, for moving this through. I appreciate it so much, as we all do, clearly. I have to say that I also want to say to support Commissioner Campbell and his, I know he walks 2 hours every day and he notes all the blight things that we need to look at, but we also, all of us can take a part in this, and it's an image that we want to put to our city. And if we all just keep it clean, keep it picked up, keep things done, it certainly does make present a different picture. I also want to echo what my fellow commissioners have said about the current situation with people losing their jobs and unemployment. And if there is anything that any of us can do, please, please, our email is online and we are more than happy to work with anyone to try to resolve any issue that you might have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would like to thank the city workers who worked to get all of our trees up for the tinsel tour and all of the beautiful decorations that are in downtown for Christmas. I think it's adding a lot to Mount Clemens having a great Christmas spirit in the time of, you know, this is just such a rough year and everyone kind of feels overwhelmed. So I think some levity with having some beautiful Christmas decorations sure does help. So thank you for all of your efforts on that. I'd also like to thank Nikki Rutuznik, who had did a lot of the work for the tinsel tour in terms of all the paperwork and getting everybody situated and handing out lights and all that stuff. So thank you, Nikki. And to our tree sponsors, we had people who were families who participated. We had businesses participate. the city commission. We had a lot of service groups participate, and the trees are really cool. So come down and take a look at them. It doesn't take long. You won't freeze too much, but come in, take a walk through our tinsel tour. Usually the lights go on around 5 o'clock. This year, the donations for Toys for Tots are at a critical low. The Marine Corps is actively pursuing donations for Toys for Tots, and what normally happens is they get large donations from corporate sponsors because corporate parties happen, and they have collection sites at more restaurants or corporations, the malls, and they're not able to have those this year. So they are at a critical low. They are at only 30% of what they normally collect at this time of year. So I challenged Clinton Township to collect more toys than Mount Clemens. So we are going to beat Clinton Township this year, and we're doing great. We have a ton of toys at the fire department because so many of you have stepped up. Happy's Pizza came up with 2 full boxes that they stuffed full of toys. I mean, everyone seems to really be getting into the spirit of this. So thank you so much to everyone who has participated, and we will continue to collect through December 18th. You can donate new toys at the Mount Clemens Fire Station. I believe there's also a box at Pops Sweets and Treats. And so feel free to drop those toys at either location. And if the firemen aren't there, it's because they're out fighting a fire, but they'll take your donations once they get back to the station. So thank you to everyone again for donating, and please, if you can and you're able, make sure that you pick up a toy and take it over to our location. It is a critical time for restaurants and for our small businesses in downtown Mount Clemens. As Commissioner Menser mentioned, many of our businesses are struggling and many of our people are struggling. So if there's anything that you can do, donate time, donate money to local charities. If there's anything that you can do to help be part of the solution, I encourage you to. I also encourage you, by being a part of the solution, it could be by ordering carryout at one of our downtown restaurants. If you go to the Mount Clemens, City of Mount Clemens website, you can click on Downtown Development Authority and then click on dining and entertainment, and it will give you a list of everyone's carryout, who's offering carryout in town. So order some carryout, give yourself a break from the kitchen, and also shop local if you can for your Christmas presents. And any dollar that you spend at a local business will help these people stay afloat in these really, really difficult times. Of course, I too want to extend a huge congratulations to future Fire Chief Greg Shipman, and I really look forward to working with you as the leader of the fire department. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
I'll move
adjourn.
we adjourn.
Commissioner Campbell, moved by Commissioner Campbell and seconded by Commissioner Voorhees. We'll do it all in favor.
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? All right. Very good. Thank you, everyone. I hope all of you have a great night, and we'll see you on December 21st for our next commission meeting.